information, and that's theatertusk.com. So we're going to just jump in. We've got several people doing monologues tonight. So I am excited that you all are here and excited that these actors are here. The first actor that we have up, it also happens to be a staff member. It's most people don't know that Adam Miller, who's our managing director, also is an actor, wonderful singer. And tonight he's going to do a monologue for us. So Adam, take it away.
Thank you. Can you run in and ask somebody if they have exactly what you're looking for? I can't stand waiting in this. I'm going to get heat stroke. I feel it coming on. Just go in there. Ask the lady if she has the cream you want. If she says no, leave. If she says yes, buy it. Please don't go and have another 2-hour conversation about where she's from and asking about discounts and all the bullshit stories you make up to try and get a deal, because I can't take it. Honestly, I'm like a heart attack away from death. Angie, you don't understand. I know I sound crazy because you've gotten me worked up to this point. Look at me. I can't even control myself because I feel overwhelmed with all these fragrances in the air. So deep in my nostrils, I can't even breathe anymore. It burns my throat. And I wonder, I walk through the store wondering how in the hell do people that work here survive such smells all day long? Like, if I worked here, I'd be in a different department. I couldn't do perfumes or colognes or whatever that poisonous gas is. I'd die. I'd rather work in the shoe section or suits. Yeah, maybe suits where things are calm. Less customers. People are a little less assertive. I can't stand that madness. All this running around, jumping over one another, sweating with the hot flashes going on and the constant search for the best item at the best deal. I can't take it. I get dizzy, frustrated, annoyed, grumpy, sarcastic, violent. Well, no, not violent, but I feel violent. Which makes me worse because I don't act on my violent feelings because I'm a gentleman. And the restraint bubbles up under my neck, slowly strangling me. That's why. That's why I'm freaking hot. Thank you. And that's the end of my monologue.
I thought you were going to act.
Ha ha ha. No, this is just me. Pretty much a regular routine visit to the store with my wife. Although my wife is not named Angie, so.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Joey Steele. So, Joey, you're up to bat. Did we lose Joey? There she is. Joey, you're up. Give us just a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
We may need to come back to Joey.
All right.
I'm here.
There she is.
Oh, there she is.
It's a live show, folks.
And also wanted to tell Mona that you'll be the last one to go tonight. So just keep muted until we get there. All right, Joey, take it away.
You're always listing things, lining things up in rows, as if putting them in rows is suddenly going to make my mind make sense of it. There's no sense in it. You put things in lists that are backwards and wrong and turning inside my brain until I don't remember where I started anymore. And I want to remember. But you make me remember, and I look at the remembering and I feel the remembering and my stomach turns to knots because of it. And this is not the best thing for a person. Do you see that? Do you see what I'm telling you? Talk to me. Please. I have no one to talk to but you now. Please talk. Please speak. Please. Please. I want to be someplace. Someplace where there's grasses and trees and voices in the wind. Someplace where it's never quiet. For the wind, it's the wind that carries the laughter and the speaking of the children there. And they're good children there. Children who aren't afraid. And as I wheel through the fields, they come running up to me, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, come talk with us. Come be with us. And they smile and they touch me so gently because they aren't afraid there. Thank you.
Joey, tell us what that's from.
So that's from And They Dance Real Slow in Jackson by Jem Leonard Jr.
Awesome. Awesome. Nice job. Thanks so much. Okay. Melissa's going to do some original poetry for us tonight. So, Melissa, you're up.
Hi. Okay. I haven't memorized it yet, so y'all just bear with me. Got it right here, though. Dear X, 19 and a half years. That's how long it took. 19 and a half years being afraid of a place, the town where it happened, the town where you managed in mere minutes to take so much away. Not only did you violate my friendship, my trust, my body, you took away my dignity, my bravery, and even my friends and the path my life was on because I had no choice but to leave that place. The trauma was too much. So I left, never looking back. In the wake of what you did, everything was left changed. You, what happened, became a ghost that haunted me for so long after I was gone. The icy coldness of your blue eyes where I could see your wickedness. It followed me even in my sleep. I couldn't ever go back to that place, the place where it happened. The fear of it just grew, and like a ghost, it settled in my soul like a boulder at the bottom of a lake. It ate away at my memories. Nearly 2 years of my life washed away until only the trauma was left. In times, the wounds healed, but the ghost remained. The bravery was restored, but the ghost remained, and I couldn't visit that place. I was scared it would give the ghost its strength. Then slowly, these amazing things began to happen. Friends from that town, from that place, re-entered my life like angels, resurrecting memories that the ghost had murdered. I remembered friendships and joy and fun and even love. But still, the ghost wasn't done. It became restless, trembling in its place at the bottom of the lake, thrashing at night, invading my dreams, for it knew its time of control was growing short. The day of reckoning, however, was not planned. I was heading back from a trip, and on the way home, I got to the fork in the road, and I had a choice. And I chose to take the long way home. As I got closer to the town where it happened, I felt the ghost, the rock at the bottom of the lake, begin to rise. but I wasn't afraid. When I arrived on Main Street, I suddenly remembered everything. I knew how to get around campus. I recognized every old building, every moment spent with my friends. I saw it again for what it was, a beautiful place. And as I drove away, the lights of the town fading behind me, I wept. I wept and I called your name and I said, I forgive you. And in that moment, I felt the ghost lift away, staying behind to rest in the town where it happened. And I am no longer haunted. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. That was very powerful.
Thank you.
And that's an original piece that you wrote, right?
Yes, very recently, actually.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we've got Westcott Youngson. Westcott, introduce what you're doing and then take it away.
Okay, I'm going to do an original monologue that I'm working on. I'd like to do a one-person show about my cancer journey, and this is one of the monologues that I'm working on right now. I want to tell you guys about a spiritual conversion. I'm 48 years old, sitting in the darkened bathroom of my parents' house at 2 in the morning. I'm sitting in the toilet, looking at shit in my underwear. I mean, how did I get here? I'm back in my parents' house. I have cancer. I'm living under my parents' rules again, like I'm a little child. What force put this into motion? I've given up control of so many things, and now my bowels too. Once again broken, I'm once again humbled. You know, my mom and I love each other very much, but we've never had the easiest relationships. We're both passionate, strong-willed people. That can lead to interesting chemistry at times. My mom is a Southerner, which means she doesn't know I'm telling you guys the story, but it's my therapy. Therapy, another thing old school Southerners run from like unsweet tea. What reason is there to pull all your trash out into the yard for all the neighbors to see? It's just tacky. We're meant to suffer alone. We're meant to internalize. You know, Southerners should win every single World Series of poker because we are experts at not showing our hands. Everything should be pretty. Everything should be in place. Well, I'm sitting here on this toilet and it definitely ain't pretty. And no, things are definitely not in place. I look to my right and I see the container by the toilet and tears begin to fall. That container is a portal to grace. I will put my underwear in that container. And the woman sleeping across the hall will wash and dry them and put them in my room. No questions asked. Despite our differences, this beautiful act of love will happen. Once again reminded how grace can overcome past hurts. I'm once again reminded how grace can teach us about the deep well of unconditional love. I am brought to tears of thanksgiving for my messy drawers. Thank you.
Wow, Wes. I'm going to take a minute with that one. I appreciate you sharing your journey with us, and I look forward to other things that you're going to be writing about. But just that's raw. That's some raw stuff, but I appreciate that very much. I'm glad we have a vehicle for you to share your writing. All right. We'll come back and chat in a few minutes. Next up is Yaya Brown. Yaya, I think you got a little something for us. Here you go.
Good evening. My name is Jamila Botman, the grieving and emboldened wife of Darius Botman, who was murdered Friday evening at the intersection of West 52nd Street in Arlington, an intersection we used to cross every day on our way to school. Sometimes he'd carry me on his back all the way. Darius was tenacious and he was kind. He was more than kind. I will not perform for you today. No, I will not tell you stories that paint endearing pictures of Darius. It's none of the world's damn business whether or not he was a good murdered Black man. Do I have to prove his goodness to prove his right to be alive today? Ask yourselves if you are good. And ask yourselves if you are good or not, whether you should be gunned down in the streets by white and blue men. I will say Darius hated hate. It hurt him to his core, and he hated that some people in the world could be so cruel and atrocious. This morning, I realized that there is only one blue I see now. It's not sky or sea or navy blue, it's policeman blue, a kind of death blue. And too many in our society wear it with a false sense of pride. I refuse to cry before this world. I reserve my tears for the few people who know and love me because I no longer trust this world. If you are Black, you know how sacred and endless our tears are. There is enough spectacle being made of murder and grief. Too many people performing hate. Too many of us left behind making a public show of our grief. I mean, how many weeping Black wives and mothers and daughters will it take? This has been a holy ritual for too many centuries and for way too many days in America. I woke up this morning without Darius for only the 6th time since I was 26. I woke up without hope, but when I felt our baby kick and nudge my belly, I found enough and I got out of bed. I checked my phone and saw there were several messages about a note left at Darius's memorial. Someone left a note. A friend sent a picture of it. I'm sorry, I should have done more. I should have stopped them. I'm sorry. Yes, you should have done more. You should have stopped them, and I'm sorry that you didn't, whoever you are. You gave me a little more hope today. I couldn't stop thinking about your note, trying to imagine who you are and how you came to be where you are on the other side of hate. Struggling to breathe. Maybe it was when you heard Darius gasping and pleading, I can't breathe, that you realized his struggle in that moment is the same struggle you've been facing all your life. Suffocating under the weight of hatred, racism, and bigotry. I imagine you squirming and flailing. Of course, his death came in minutes, and your death is slow in stages. Was it your innocence that hatred killed first? Your ability to to be moved with wonder? Was it your voice that faded and died next, and then your beauty because of your complicity? What you had allowed to happen to you, and who can feel truly beautiful burdened by such shame? Were you born on that side and grew to believe it is safest there, or did you marry into it? And now you are the good wife, one of many wives, suffocating in a community corrupted with hate. I never suffocated in the presence of Darius. He would never do anything that I would be so sorry for not stopping. Or maybe you're a son who doesn't have the courage to face your father who is destroying you. Whoever you are, I know where you are. You're squirming and festering and suffocating. I am fortunate, at least, that our baby will not be born on your side of hate. That's it.
Oh, man. Thanks, Yaya. It's amazing how powerful art is. Okay. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to go pick up with Rhonda Woolley. Rhonda?
Listen, Moira, I'm good. I found my path. I am a performance artist. I have instincts, sweetie, and a following. I know what they need even when they don't. I can talk whole new worlds for them and take them where they've never known that they could go. I can make them laugh. I can make them cry. And they are in a big new place and they're transformed. And they come back for more. It's a built-in market with huge return business, and they don't have to dress up and go somewhere and hang out with a bunch of snooty strangers and find art. No, it's right here at their fingertips. And my art can't be stolen from them. And it won't be ruined by time or lose value because mine is a living art. Always reinventing itself. Yeah, powerful and empowering. It's in your face. Real. It's audiophonic. Yeah. Audiophonic art. Think about it, sweetie. We could branch out, make a fortune, buy a house, have that baby. 1-900 WHISPR is a gold mine. Thank you. I forgot to say that.
I'm in, Rhonda. I'm in. Love it. Love it. Love it. What's that from?
That is, hang on just a second. It is Phone Arts by a very little known playwright, L.B. Hamilton. It's very dated. This is a copyright of 1997, but you know, it appealed to me for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that the time that we're living in and, you know, making ends meet and such.
Love it. All right. Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Okay. We've got Mona Winston, who I haven't met yet, but Mona, you're up. I believe you're going to be doing some poetry for us. Unmute, Mona. You got it figured out, Mona? Okay, we're waiting on Mona to unfreeze and unmute. Okay, while we're waiting on Mona, I want to ask Yaya a question real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you dig down deep for that?
I have a Black brother. I have Black uncles. I have a Black daddy. And it's really not that hard, unfortunately. I think that now more than ever, it's a true fear of a lot of people. And that specific monologue is kind of like your worst fear coming true. So just, yeah.
It's powerful.
Mhm.
It's powerful.
Yeah,
Whew, but it's hard pulling up all that stuff.
it is. It is.
Thanks, Yaya. All right, I think we've got Mona back on. Mona, you on the line?
I think so.
All right, lean a little forward so we can see your face just a little bit. That's
Okay.
that's even better. See. All right. So what you gonna do for us tonight?
I think it's a monologue. I'm not really sure. I don't think I've ever done a monologue, but I do poetry all the time. I used to just wake up with a poem. So if this doesn't work out, if somebody just shoots me out a couple of words, then I can probably impromptu create a poem as we speak.
Well, that's an amazing talent. All right, we're looking forward to hearing what you got. So have at it.
Okay, here I go. I don't know if you can hear my dial tone. Let me call Grandma. It's 7523418. She still has her original exchange 752, so you can imagine how old that is. And so let's see if she picks up. I think she did. Hey, Grandmama, what are you doing? You're out there in your flowers. I should have known. It's dark outside. But I believe with your green thumb, if you planted a rock, it would grow. I tried to inherit that green thumb, but everything I plant, it just doesn't make it. Even when folks tell me, oh, you can't kill this plant, trust me, I can. I'm the same one that when you tell me, take a left and then a right and you can't miss it, I can certainly prove you wrong. I can certainly miss it. Well, anyway, Grandmama, it's Monday, and you know we have Monday Memories throwback phone calls. And this week, fortunately, it worked out because I'm doing something online that it's my turn to lead. Okay, that'll be okay with you. I've been thinking about this all week long, so here we go. Do you remember when you had all those fruit trees in your yard? I don't know where all the fruit trees have gone now. I remember when you had peach trees, pears, figs, apples, peaches, and plums, and oh my goodness, don't forget the apricots. Those were my favorite. Well, let me tell you something funny. Grandmama, are you listening? There was this one time you told us not to go out there among the fruit trees and bother them to let them grow and ripen and then they fall to the ground. But you were in the bed and you taking your blood pressure medicine, and every time you would take that, you get drowsy and you nod off. So it came the great opportunity. So of course, myself and the infamous cousin crew, we ran out and darted out there among those trees, and I went to my favorite, the apricot, because they were always so big and so large, and I loved them when they were green and firm. And so I took my little t-shirt and held it out, and I filled it in the little pouch with as many apricots as I could get. Ran back to the porch and put them in a cup. And then when I looked in there and saw that you had nodded off, I tiptoed and went past you and went in the kitchen and got that huge box of Morton salt with the little girl on it carrying the umbrella over her head. And so I went back outside and I salted those apricots, and oh, the first one was good, the second one was great, and the next one was magnificent. And I just kept going until suddenly about 20, 30 minutes later, my stomach started making these noises, just like an ocean or something. And I had to tip back into the house, pass you again, Grandmama, and make it to the bathroom. And I sat there with big sweat drops popping off of my forehead, the size of alligator tears, stomach growling, dry heaving, and everything else that you could think of. But I'm so glad that you did not know that, because I know I would have been in trouble had you found out about it. What'd you say, Grandma? You knew about it all the time and you didn't tell me anything? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, you didn't even come to help me. Yes, I know what one of your famous quotes. It's a bought lesson is one of the best lessons you can ever learn. But Grandma, that's not fair. You could have come to my rescue. Oh, well, you know, I gotta go. But before I forget something, I just want to let you know that I love you. And don't forget to tell the angels I hello and to stay away from those apricots up there. Bye, love you. Thank you.
So Mona, how long you been writing?
Well, probably since I was in elementary school, but I have never really taken the time to be serious about it. I've entered in a few contests and maybe have, I think, one in a book and a couple in magazines, but it's not something I've just handed out to people, and people come up to me years later and thank me with tears in their eyes for some poem that I gave them that I don't even recall penning. And so I've been doing it probably for decades. And like I said, I can just wake up in the morning and it's there, or someone can just say a sentence to me in a conversation and I can take that and make an entire poem. Like I said, if this didn't work out, somebody just shout me out an idea and I can probably go off some kind of little poem for you.
So do you perform them very often, or you mostly just write them?
I just mostly write them. I think I went to maybe 2 performances. And that's been maybe like 2.5 years ago. And the other one I was called for, the one that was put in the book, and that's probably been 10 years ago.
So what made you decide to join us on Monologue Mondays?
So I was just scrolling through, and my son actually went to volunteer at the theater last year. And I actually went to improv, and I took that class.
That's where I know you from.
Yeah, so I was at the improv. And then when I was scrolling through, I saw something about Theater Tuscaloosa, and I thought, that sounds interesting. I think I'll give it a try. And I kept trying to change my mind. I thought, no, go ahead and do it. And so I did this around 5:15 today. And typed this up right quick. But I do have poems. I have one very similar to what Yaya wrote. But this was before some of the common things that are going on right now have taken place, but it's very similar to that. And then I have one I've actually performed at church, and it's on a CD, and it's entitled I Am Black History. And I kind of just did that impromptu. I think I wrote it that Saturday night, and I did it that Sunday for a youth group. And when I looked around and everybody was standing up and applauding, standing ovation, people were coming up to me telling me that Tyler Perry has nothing on you. So I've never really pursued it, but it's a gift to me. It just comes without much effort writing, whether it be a play or a skit or a song.
Well, we're glad you shared your talents with us tonight. We hope you'll come back and join us again soon. If everybody else can unmute for a minute, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Joey, how long have you been acting?
I've been acting since 4th grade, or like doing theater since 4th grade. So about 7 years. And then I like started dance when I was 2. So there's like the acting aspect in that, but yeah.
So you're already a weathered performer. Well, nice job tonight. Nice job. So, are you going to be pursuing this as a career?
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently in the pre-screen and application process for musical theater and musical theater dance, BFAs and BMs and all that fun world. That's very stressful at the moment.
So, well, good job tonight. We appreciate it very much. Melissa, I want to ask you real quick about your writing.
Y'all.
It's one thing to write and another thing to perform it. And you've done this now twice. Does it sound different to you when you perform it as opposed to when you're just writing it down?
A little. This one not as much, because this one's actually me. This was me, like I lived this. You know, the one I did before from our work bed, but this is actually that trip. That trip was 2 weeks ago to the place.
Interesting. It was powerful, and it was
So
it hit a nerve. Hit a nerve. Well, I'm interested to.
I hope in a good way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you've got a book coming out sometime, right?
Yes. Yes. So
Any news on
2020
that?
kind of slowed that process down a little bit. Yeah, it's we're in the editing process and finishing up the gaps. You know, since I don't write linear, I got to go in and finish filling in all the gaps. But it'll be the first of next year for sure. It's just getting it fine tuned now. Like I said, 2020 put a slowdown on things because my kids went back to in-person school today. It was the first time I had the house to myself for 7 months. So, and in the past 9 weeks, I've been homeschooling on top of trying to keep up with everything else. So,
I'm just amazed you're still sober. That's amazing.
Well, I did have a mimosa with breakfast this morning.
You owned it.
Oh, well, we look for good stuff to continue to come from you, Melissa. So Adam, you brushed off your acting chops. It's been a while.
Well, yeah, for what that's worth.
Do you ever really forget how to do it?
I mean, I guess it's a little bit like getting back on the bicycle, right? Yeah, I've always said, you can train up to be an actor, but without some spark of that talent inherently, there's something you can't train. And if you've got that little spark, then we can train you up, and we can get you up to speed. But I also want to just kind of use this opportunity as a little bit of a commercial, just to say, you don't have. It's not hard to find a monologue, right? So I literally Googled middle-aged male comedic monologue, and this came up. So if you're thinking, hey, maybe I have that spark and maybe I'd like to participate in Monologue Monday, just get on there. I found one. It's called Monologue Blog, and it's just this person that gathers monologues and puts them all in blog entries, and they're searchable by tone and that kind of stuff. And so you could be up here next. So come play with us.
Thanks for that commercial. He not only acts, but he sells too.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I know you're juggling family and work and all that stuff too. Does it ever, I don't know about you, but the last time I did a monologue, and I've been doing this for 38 years and I still get nervous. Do you still get nervous?
Well, that's the fun part about it, right? If it became boring and monotonous and just another day, that kind of takes away the motivation to push through a character. So I do get a little nervous, but I try to use it in whatever character I'm playing. I feel like all humans are nervous in some aspect, so that can always be used. But absolutely, I'm nervous waking up every morning.
I understand. I understand. Well, you got the spark too.
Oh, thanks.
So Wes, you're dealing with difficult cancer. You're dealing with living with parents. Your whole life changed in an instant, and yet you still want to write. You still want to perform. What keeps you going when you don't feel so well? What keeps you creating?
I think what it is the beauty in it. I think, I hope it came across in the monologue that even, in the darkest times, there's such grace and such beauty. And, I think that's something that we need, that everybody needs to hear about in this day, and this year that we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's knowing that there's such beauty and grace in the human race, and art is about the human condition, and it's what draws us to it. And it's why it'll last long after most of us are gone, and I think that's what keeps me going, is the grace and the beauty that is in the human condition.
Well, you did a Jode monologue, wasn't it? Grapes of Wrath monologue last time. And that was powerful. But today you really, I don't know, man. It's just hit me deep. So I appreciate you sharing your human condition with us.
Well, thank you.
So, Rhonda, introduce who your friend is there.
I brought him over because he has been sitting on the couch just listening in, and I wanted him to be able to put some faces with the voices that he's been hearing tonight, and also to put some faces with some folks' names that he's actually never gotten to meet, but he's heard a lot about. So, this is my partner, this is my love, this is my darling, this is Guy Davis. So,
Guy.
Tina Turley.
Hi, Tina. Okay.
So, Guy, tell us a little bit about, you do a morning show most mornings, right? Where you play your guitar and share with us little
Well,
tips.
I didn't realize it had gotten that far. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
On I have a Kokomo Kid Facebook page, and I do a show called Coffee with Kokomo. And it just kind of made it up out of the air with all this COVID stuff going on. I was, going a little bit nuts. So I sat in the apartment every morning, except for Saturdays at 10 a.m. I come on for 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes. And it's a couple of songs, a lot of talk, coffee salutes, an awful lot of nonsense gets spoken. But the secret message is, I love you and I love to be amongst my friends like we're at a coffee shop.
Well, I know you're quite an accomplished musician, so y'all check him out. Kokomo Kid on Facebook. Do you have other places where we can hear a little bit of your music, Guy?
Well, you can find me just about anywhere on YouTube, also on Spotify. And if you go to guydavis.com, that has all the business stuff, but I can be found. You look me up on YouTube, you'll find stuff.
That sounds great. Well, we're glad you got to jump on with Rhonda tonight. And it's nice to actually chat with you live and in person. We feel very honored to have you jump on here tonight. So I'm glad you did that, Rhonda.
Thank you. I'm so glad you finally got to kind of sort of meet him.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, too bad we can't all be in person, but if we can't be in person, we might as well be virtual. So
that time is coming though. It's coming. It's coming back. Be sharp on your stories.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for sharing your talents with us. I wish you all the best and hope to see you again soon. And we've got lots of other things coming up at Theater Tuscaloosa. So check us out on our website at theatertus.com, or check us out on our Facebook page, or we're on Twitter and Instagram and all that other stuff. And always make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll know what's coming up. All right. And with that, I'm going to say good evening.
Okay.